Hello and welcome to Wrestling AA with me, Adrian. Tonight we're going to go over what happened on the 24th of April episode of Monday Night Raw. So let's go straight into it. We're going to start off just a recap video on the whole Strowman and Reigns feud. Pretty good, unless you've actually been watching it, in which case you've seen it all before and you really don't need to see it again, do you? I don't. Then we cut into Y2J. Starts up his little show in the ring. Invites down the Miz. Miz decides to take over Miz TV. Then Ambrose comes in and it just becomes the Ambrose Asylum. Honestly, three guys in the ring, all doing promo work, and not one of these guys does a bad promo. So really enjoyable TV. Really, really enjoyable. And we haven't even got to a match yet. So let's jump straight into it. After they wrap up, we go into the next match. Well, the first match even, which was Matt Hardy versus Sheamus. Solid match. It's a good match. Not really a great deal to say. I don't think these guys, work so well with each other. Really solid work, decent pacing, but there just wasn't a lot that excited me. Match finished with Matt Hardy picking up the pin after hitting Sheamus with a twist of fate. Actually did a twist of fate. A twist of fate where somebody actually went prone. That's right. Sheamus can actually take a twist of fate. So none of this usual twist of stunner nonsense. So yeah, solid match. Okay, nothing special. Next segment. Miz and Maurice interrupting Kurt. Kurt decides to say settle it in the ring, which he always does. So he set up for a match later with The Miz against Y2J and Ambrose. He told The Miz, if you can find a tag team partner, great. If you can't, handicap. So that was that spot. Then we go into Cruiserweight Classic match, which was Neville and TJ Perkins versus Austin Aries and Jack Gallagher. Yeah, really good match, really solid match. It's a cruiserweight match. I'm starting to get back into the whole cruiserweight thing. I kind of missed this from the early days of WCW. Well, the early days of televised WCW. So yeah, I'm quite enjoying this. Once again, didn't go very long, which also helps. And that was Austin Ace pinned TJ Perkins for the win. Solid match, really good to watch. Yeah. Right. Next up was the dumpster match. The dumpster match between Braun Strowman and Kalisto. Now I know what you're saying, there's no way Kalisto can win without outside interference. He did. He won the match without outside interference, but he won it in a kind of way which looked, it wasn't decisive victory, let's just say. He was about to get thrown into the dumpster and he basically blocked, drop kicked, and Strowman went into the dumpster. Strowman then got out of the dumpster, threw Kalisto into the dumpster, and I've got to be honest, from what I watched, I would say that the after-match segment was probably better than the match itself. Strowman rammed Kalisto into the dumpster, strapped the top up, and to be honest, when they opened up the dumpster at the beginning, you could see that they'd padded the lid, so you kind of knew something was going to happen, and here's what I did. Dumpster off the side of the stage. Good fun to watch, as it always is, and had a nice spot. And something to keep the whole monster bit going with Braun Strowman. Next up, we had Roman Reigns' little video package. I may have fallen asleep during this bit. It was that boring. And then we got the whole Bray Wyatt package, which is also pretty boring right after the Roman Reigns package as well. I'm actually falling asleep thinking about those two segments. Right. So we'll get straight into the next match. The next match was Dana Brooke versus Alicia Fox. This is the match they set up last week with the whole way too long segment about Emma basically saying that Dana Brooke doesn't like Alicia Fox, even though Dana Brooke does look. Yeah. Well worth watching. The match itself, though, I actually quite enjoyed the match. Quite pleasantly surprised. And Alicia Fox, very early on, hit a Northern Lights bridging suplex, which I haven't seen in a while, and she hit it perfectly. Lovely to see. But that was kind of it for Alicia Fox in terms of the match. Then Dana Brooke kind of hit her a few times and then hit the pin. Yeah. Right, next up was the Big Cass, Enzo and Seth Rollins versus Samoa Joe, Gallows and Anderson. On the way to the ring, Cass and Enzo get jumped. Enzo gets taken out. Seth comes down to help. So it then turns into basically a 2-on-3 handicap with Seth Rollins and Big Cass against Samoa Joe, Gallows and Anderson. So Angle comes out and he says, I've got you an extra partner. Shocker. This is literally 2 weeks after they've done the exact same stunt. He pulls out a surprise partner and it is Finn Balor. Really good match. I enjoyed it. And in case you've seen anything on the internet about Seth Rollins moving towards a new finisher, this match cemented it. Seth Rollins set up Anderson for the pedigree, hooked his arms, thought about it, let him go, and then pulled him in for the jumping knee. So that pretty much says it really. He's moving to the jumping knee. He's moving away from the pedigree. Because Seth Rollins does like to go through new finishers pretty quickly. So yeah, hit that move, hit the pin on Anderson. So Cass, Seth and Finn Balor win. Good match. I quite enjoyed it. Some really good spots. I've basically just blown through straight to the ending. Forgot to actually talk about the match. We're doing a review. I kind of should do that. Yeah, some really good spots. Let's be honest. With all these guys, there's enough talent in there. And it's nice to see the club and Finn Balor on different sides. Just cementing the whole face heel. So yeah, really great match. Really worth a watch. Next up was the women's match. And I'm saying the women's match because this is what I'm calling the women's match. The Dana Brooke versus Alicia Fox we talked about earlier. That one was a Divas match. If you remember how they used to regard the Divas, yeah, you have 5 minutes. That's it. That's what we're going to give you. Finish the match. Basically the same way that they regard the Cruiserweights. Possibly a little worse. So yeah, that was basically a Divas match. This was the women's match. And this was Alexa Bliss versus Sasha Banks. They segued into it with a bit of, Bayley in the ring as well. Yada, yada, yada. But basically that was the match. It was Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks. And yeah, it was a good match. Wasn't a great match. And Alexa Bliss got knocked out of the ring and decided to walk away. So Sasha Banks won through count out. because Alexa Bliss is basically saying, I'm number one contender, I've got a match on Sunday for the title, I don't need to be going through this close to the match. So she walked away, so Sasha Banks got the win. The next match was the squash match. It was Kurt Hawkins versus Apollo Crews. And it was a squash match, but not as big a squash match as we're used to seeing for Kurt Hawkins. I think I counted 2 whole moves that Kurt Hawkins pulled off on Apollo Crews. 2. Which is exactly 2. More than he pulled off against Finn Balor last week. It's an alright match. Yeah, it was an alright match. It wasn't a great match. Apollo Crews is definitely capable of better. And, Kurt Hawkins, to be honest, he could take some bumps which would be a bit more impressive than he actually took in that match. So I don't think either of them really lived up to the potential in that one. Next was random video package on Braun Strowman. This one was just as boring as the Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt ones earlier. So we'll skip straight past it. Right, the main event of the night was Chris Jericho and Dean Ambrose versus The Miz. Miz called out his tag team partner, saying, "You're going to be shocked when you see this, my tag team partner is..." And nobody came down. He then tried to back out of the match. Angle said, "No, I told you before, if you don't have a partner, handicap match." So, it turned into a 2-on-1 handicap. It was pretty, to be honest, it was pretty solidly a squash, as you kind of would expect a handicap match to be. Miz started bringing it back a bit, then decided to run away. He got caught by Ambrose. Ambrose threw him onto the announcer's table. Just as he's about to put him through the announcer's table, like flashy thing, and up comes Bray Wyatt. So Bray Wyatt stood on the table with Dean Ambrose. Nobody went through the table. He knocked him off the table. Nobody went through the table. What a waste of a table. Why tease us with the table? Nobody went through a table. He knocked Dean Ambrose off the table, then delivered Sister Abigail up against the back wall. Instead of actually slamming him down to the floor, he just slammed him up against the the LED wall that they have their entrances on. Did that. Then Miz and Wyatt dragged Ambrose back to the ring. He hit Jericho with Sister Abigail, and then whilst Miz was gloating, he hit the Miz with Sister Abigail, and then the show ended. So was Bray Wyatt the tag team partner? I don't know. I really don't know. But he hit everybody in the match, including The Miz, with his finisher, and then there was no finish to the match. He just basically did his whole, I'm going to kneel and do creepy stuff. And that was that. Not really a great ending, I didn't think. So all in general, just looking through the card on my cheat sheet. Okay match, good match, meh, yeah. I came away from it thinking it was alright, it wasn't great, and I'm starting to notice that that's pretty much how I sum up all the episodes of Raw. So I'm quite looking forward to Payback this Sunday, because hopefully that should get me back feeling yes again. That's my summary. So basically, if you've got to spare 3 hours to watch Raw, then you can watch this video, which you already have, because if you're hearing me sum it up, it's a pretty safe bet, and you've still got time to watch a movie. Okay. Alright, well that's it from us here at Wrestling AA. Come back and have a look at our SmackDown review. And also hope you enjoy Payback. Good day.